The Louie Belina Show, presented by CC Electric. The Louie Belina Show on a Tuesday. We're joined now, I'd say a friend of mine. We don't get to visit too often, but when we do, it's a treat for me. Talking about former A&M wide receiver, NFL player, and can I say mogul? Can I say realty mogul? I'm talking about Terrence Murphy. How you doing, brother?
How you been, brother?
I've been good. I've been living life. I've been having fun. I have a smile on my face, and day to day, there's a lot of people that can't say that.
Man, any day on top of the dirt's a good day, Louie.
How you been doing? I mean, you're always up to something. You're one of those people that don't sit still.
Man, I've been really good, man. The kids are getting older. They're in sports. I'm coaching flag football and soccer and volleyball, and I'm running the businesses. And, hey, look, I'm here in Aggieland. I never in my wildest dreams thought I'd be here this long, but now I'm here and I'm loving it, and it's been great, man.
Coming up, you have your fifth annual, T camp, Terrence Murphy camp. It's a free camp, and most people are like, "Oh, he's putting on a football camp." No. Sure, there's football, but it's a football, finance, and faith camp.
Yeah, it's something that gave me. It's different. You can travel anywhere in the nation, and it's going to be tough to find a camp with all three of those components rolled in. And we've had 2,000 kids attend this camp in 4 years, and it's been really, you see people start these things, and then after year one, they kind of, go away. But fifth annual, which obviously you guys know how much 5 means to me, number 5 at A&M, class of 2005. Drafted in 2005, and the list goes on. So, yeah, man, it's been really amazing. I got asked the other day, why do you keep doing this camp? And why do you do it in Aggieland? Man, Aggieland's done a lot for me, and I've done a lot here. And it's a relationship with a city. Yes, I'm not from here. I'm from East Texas. But at this, I've been in Aggieland longer than I was in East Texas. So it's home now. It's been home for a while. But, yeah, the camp, Terrence Murphy Camp, football, finance, and faith, will be on April 26th at Brazos Christian.
And it's free. I think that's another component that makes it stand out, makes it different. Because, camps, 100, there might be one of those, but like 500, they cost money. But you put on a free camp.
Yes, sir. Yeah, and I think what people don't realize is there's a lot of camps out there, people charging. They're making a lot of money off these kids, and I'm not saying that's a negative. I'm not here to judge that. But I didn't have that type of money growing up. I had a single mother in East Texas. We grew up humble beginnings. And the first camp that I went to that was similar to this was called the SAC camp. And I had to write in like an essay and a letter. And I got somebody to sponsor me. And that SAC camp changed my life. It made me realize that I could be a D1 football player. So I look back at that experience and I say, okay, if I charge for this camp, can I get people to sponsor it? No. So what I do is I put up my own money, my own time. I pay my staff to organize it every year, and I make it free for the kids because I know what it feels like to not be able to have the resources to pay and travel and go to these camps. And so that's where I always ask people in the community to sponsor kids, to donate. That helps me, but clearly I'm paying for a lot of it out of pocket through my foundation and personally myself.
Well, you just mentioned it. You have your own personal experience, and I know you have to think to yourself, if you can affect one kid the way you were at every camp, that's a whole life changed right there.
It is. We actually are at a point now where we call them TM Camp alumni. So we had them start doing videos. We would just text them. They send it right back. I mean, we had kids at Texas Tech now. A guy sent a video in, Tyson Turner. He was like, I was in middle school when Coach Murphy started pouring into me at these camps and talking to me about Christ. And now he's a D1 football player at Texas Tech. We had Arrington Maiden that was in 9th grade when he came to the camp. And now he's on his second year in college at Memphis as a D1 quarterback. So, man, we've been really blessed. And did I help those kids in some way, shape, form, or fashion go D1? Yes. Was it only me? No. It was their work ethic, their efforts. But if we just did one little thing to help nudge them across the line to be able to get to a major university, and by, coming to a camp that's free, we feed them, we love on them, we talk to them about financial literacy and faith. And look, we've had 20 to 30 NFL and D1 coaches show up every year at this camp and give their time So it's a special camp for sure, and now we're realizing that with the impact that we have made through these athletes.
And you know what? A lot of times, isn't that just what somebody needs, is to just find someone that cares?
That's it. And I think, young men ages 8 to 18, because that's the camp. People always ask me, what grade did you have to be in? I don't want to keep up with grades. It's just ages 8 to 18. If your kids are ages 8 to 18. And what they got to realize, too, and this is important to note, if you look at what's happening with flag football with young ladies, so we have young ladies come to the camp that play flag football, too. So, and there was a young lady at the camp a couple years ago, and you could tell people were like, ooh, okay, what does she play? What does she do? We started doing one-on-ones, and she was mixing up the guys, man. She was probably one of the best athletes at the camp. So this is ages 8 to 18, kids in Aggieland. We have kids coming all the way from Dallas, San Antonio, Houston, Hearn, Caldwell, Franklin, Navasota, and it's starting to fill up. So we try to get everybody in because we had a lot of people try to sign up the day of the camp. It's away, but it makes it tough on the team when we got a lot of walk-ins. But look, if that's what you got to do, we'd love to have you.
So, okay, if someone wants to come to your 5th annual, Terrence Murphy free football finance and faith camp, how do they go about doing it? What's the process involved? You said you can walk up, but hey, signing up ahead of time gives you a chance to prepare for it. How do I sign up? How do I get in?
So the easiest way is just to go to terrencemurphy.com. You go to the menu, you find TM Camp, you click on it, and it's got all the videos from all the years before. So if you've never been, it's tough to summarize it in the video, but then you can click that link. It's going to send you to an Eventbrite, just like any other concert or football game, and you sign up to get a ticket. The only difference is you're not paying, so it's not going to ask you for credit card information because it's free. But, yeah, you need to get a ticket, and we need more, not only sponsors and people, but if you say, look, Terrence, I don't have the resources to sponsor, great, give me your effort. Show up. We need more people volunteering. Our volunteers have showed up and showed out. We had 100 volunteers last year, and we were still outnumbered. So we need more volunteers. And, yeah, man, it's a special camp, and it's tough to explain until you see it in person.
So just go to terrencemurphy.com. They'll find T-Camp, and they can sign up for their, register. They can go ahead and register from there or volunteer at terrencemurphy.com or be a sponsor at terrencemurphy.com.
Correct. And we have different levels of sponsors. The cool thing is we've had people who sponsored the first year, and every year they sponsor. Doesn't matter the amount. We have people that give $50, and we've had people give $5,000, $10,000. Doesn't matter the amount. This isn't about that. Clearly, this isn't to make money. I even had one of the kids ask me that in Q&A last year. Mr. Murphy, are you losing money on this camp? I said, that doesn't matter what I'm losing or making because I'm not here to do either one. I'm here to pour into you guys and to give you access to not only the people, because there's a guy coming to our camp this year, Jeff Aduka, who played at Ohio State. He was a top 5 pick in the NFL draft. He's going to be here leading one of the panels, talking about what it took for him to go from a 2-star, 3-star kid to being a top 10 pick in the NFL draft. So we're bringing in the talent, we're bringing in the people, and yeah, that's where you sign up.
Something that's dawning on me is the massive amount of investment into this camp. Because you said 100 volunteers. You said over 20, right, coaches involved in the camp. I mean, this is a massive project. This isn't just show up and Terrence Murphy waves at you and gives a speech. I mean, this is a pretty big camp.
It's a big camp, man. We think about it. 2,000 people over 4 years on average, have attended this camp. That's a lot of people coming to one place. It's going to be at Brazos Christian. We did it in East Texas the first year in Tyler at my high school, Tyler Chapel Hill. Then we did it at Brazos Christian a couple years. Last year we did it at Allen Academy. We're bringing it back to Brazos Christian. But, yeah, I mean, when you see the amount of cars and the amount of people, just the density of people, and that's where we always bring sheriffs. We know nothing like that's going to happen, but when I think about my children coming somewhere, I want to have sheriffs and constables present. And the cool thing is, it was crazy. We were doing a part of the camp last year, and I look in the corner, and my group of sheriffs are there, and they got tears in their eyes. They were moved emotionally by seeing the young men walk forward and give their life to Christ. And so, yeah, it's just one of those deals. It's a lot that goes into it. And when I'm done, I'm exhausted. I'm depleted for like the next 2 days. But it's worth it making an impact and then the kids. Because now everybody's so focused on making money off the kids. No one's focused on pouring into the kids. And I think that's the difference with this camp.
And again, it's free. And you said ages 8 to 18. I got male, female, don't matter. Doesn't matter grade.
Yep.
But 8 to 18, that's what's relevant.
Yes, sir. Ages 8 to 18. We're pouring into these kids, and it's a special day. They're going to leave with, we give everybody a Bible. We do an autograph signing session to do photos and stuff. We're obviously doing football, finance, and faith. Everybody leaves with some swag. They get shirts and a backpack and some other stuff. But that's all being paid for by our foundation, Terrence and Erica Murphy Foundation. So the camp is being Erica Murphy Foundation. It's a true 503C. I never can pronounce it right. My wife gives me a hard time. 503C. But, yeah, and then later in this year, we're going to be doing a backpack drive. And then we also partner with another nonprofit in town to build beds for kids in Brazos Valley that don't have beds to sleep in. So that's what our foundation is about, and that's what we're trying to do.
Well, look, Terrence, you got to make sure to get me word when you're going, when you do the backpack drive and things like this, because we have something called the Community Spotlight here on the Louie Belina Show, and we also have the community calendar. So just make sure you or your assistant get someone to email me the info, man.
Will do, brother. Will do.
Just get them. Hey, let's grab a quick timeout. Come back. I got some more questions for you about the camp, but also I do want to talk a little Aggie football with you.
Always. Let's do it.
Terrence Murphy hanging out with us. It's the annual checkup. It's our annual visit because he's got his 5th annual T camp coming up. It's incredible. We are lucky to have something like this for the youths, the youths, the youngins. We are lucky to have something like this in the Brazos Valley Bryan College Station.
Can't reach your radio? Listen to Aggie Baseball online at radioaggieland.com.
The Louie Belina Show presented by CC Electric, the Wednesday edition. Do not forget, 12 o'clock, Mike Elko, spring football update, live. 12:15, Astros Cardinals, the rubber game. That's still ahead here on the Louie Belina Show. Really still ahead here on the Zone, but we're rejoined. We get to hang out a little bit more with Terrence Murphy, former A&M wide receiver, NFL wide receiver, real estate mogul, friend of the Brazos Valley. 5th annual T Camp, Terrence Murphy Camp, is upcoming. It's on April 26th. It is a free football, finance, and faith camp. Pre-register. Helps them count the numbers, get them prepared. Yes, you can walk up. Male, female, does not matter. Ages 8 to 18. Go to terrencemurphy.com. Pre-register. Male, female, 8 to 18. It's April 26th. Terrence, one of the things that's always stood out to me is I've heard of football camps my whole life, but I don't know a whole lot of camps that include finances. And, man, I know, I had no college or pro aspirations, but I wish I would have had finance help when I was a youth. I think everybody in the world could use finance help. I cannot tell you how much it impresses me that you make that one of the platforms of your camp.
Yeah, it was just kind of one of those deals. When I thought about this camp, I got the vision from God about it. I had a dream about it, actually. And I said, all right, how do I create these pillars that I'm passionate about? Obviously, I'm passionate about football, passionate about my faith. And then once I retired from the Packers, one of the first things that I needed to figure out as a 22-year-old guy that went through the injury and went through all that was financial literacy. And I didn't know where to start. So I started just reading books and teaching myself. And that's what led to me creating companies and TM5 and Murphy Signature Homes and all those things. But it stemmed from the financial literacy piece. So I also felt the same way, Louie. Like if somebody just would have, even if I don't know it all and learn it all, it was just broaching the topic with me and getting me to understand this is something that I need to be creating and going on a financial literacy journey. So that's the reason why I made it in a part of this camp. And I actually did this before NIL. NIL, I think, got announced like a year or two after I started my camp. And so people thought, whoa, you're doing financial piece because of NIL. I actually just was a little ahead of it. And, but yeah, just to give these kids an opportunity. Now NIL, it makes so much sense. So our main session we're doing this year is what is NIL? How do you understand it? If it comes to you, like, what does that look like? Because it's changing the landscape of college sports forever.
Terrence, just introducing the concept of financial literacy by having a finance section will enlighten people, but basic concepts, teaching people what a credit score is, as opposed to going out there and learning the hard way. I mean, you say the fundamentals. Most people learn fundamentals head first by running into a wall.
Yeah, and that was me. I experienced that at 22. And, so it's something that I'm passionate about. And I'll tell you.
It's brilliant, man. It is brilliant.
Yeah, for sure. Final thought, and then we pivot on, is I had a call from one of my kids who started at my camp. I spoke to College Station High. He was a ninth grader, never even played varsity yet. And he said, Mr. Murphy, he stayed after. He said, I want to play D1. And I said, well, I know how to help you get there. You know, I can help you navigate that. And he came from a single mom home, so he really registered with me. And now he's in college. He's a D1 player. He just got his first NIL deal. And he's like, all right, what should I do? How should I? And that relationship was formed when he was 15 years old or 16 years old as a whatever freshman was in high school. So, yeah, it's been really cool to see the transition of this camp and how it's impacting people.
Football, finances, and the third platform is faith. And we live in a world that I think it's kind of cool. I've noticed that athletes are becoming more unafraid to actually show faith finally.
Yeah, it's one of those deals, man. I always tell people I never did it because I was trying to gain attention. I just did it because that's what I knew. In East Texas, my mom made us go to church in the beginning. And then when I learned to bring, my mom had a heart attack when I was 15 or 16. And for about 9 months of my high school career, people don't realize I was at home by myself. So I was working 2 jobs. She was in ICU. And I was literally navigating life by myself as a 16-year-old, 17-year-old kid at home. And at some point, I had to activate that faith with my relationship with God. And so as the recruiting started and the transition started, so people always say, man, when you score a touchdown, what are you pointing at? I'm pointing to God because I knew without him, I would not be standing here playing this game. And I remember those long days and long nights being in that house in East Texas by myself saying, God, like, it's just me and you. So that's the reason why I not only have a faith. Does that make me perfect? No. Does that make you perfect, Louie? Does that make any believer perfect? No.
No.
But I'm never going to not point to God. I'm never not going to give God the glory. And then also, again, we'll pivot on, a very public thing. I got paralyzed from the neck down on Monday Night Football. And that was back when nothing was on during Monday night but Monday Night Football in front of the world. And now here you see me. I can use my arms. I can walk around. God restored me from that. I had C3-4 fusion surgery. So why would I not give God the glory? So it's never for anybody else other than me and him and what we've been through together. And that's why I'm never going to hide my faith. Doesn't make me perfect. Doesn't make me right or wrong. I'm just not going to hide that. And that's why I include it in everything that I do in business and in life.
No, I think it's fantastic. I don't know if you saw this, but, the Ohio State Buckeyes won the national championship, and they have a cross on their championship rings. And that's kind of what I was, kind of alluding to. Like, there's a lot of athletes now that are not scared to, thank God, not in the token way, and demonstrate it that you just hadn't seen in general. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but people are more willing to be public about it now.
It's been time. Everybody's public with what they want. Everybody's public with their beliefs. Why can't we be public with our beliefs as believers? And I've always felt that. So I've never even known anything different. And being from East Texas, that's just what we did.
That's the life you led. Hey, Terrence, before I let you roll, brother, I wanted to get your thoughts. We got year 1 of Elko in the books. Your thoughts, just the state of Aggie football, how you see it.
Yeah, man. Obviously, everybody that knows anything about me knows I bleed maroon, obviously. Not just because I played, but I've given a lot to that team and that university has given a lot to me. It changed my life. Coach Slocum changed my life by giving me an opportunity to put on that maroon helmet. And I had about 20 D1 offers, but that opportunity was life-changing. And being back here. So, Elko, I believe, foundationally, fundamentally, character-wise, is the closest thing we've had since Coach Slocum, where he's going to get on your butt. He's going to coach you hard. But I believe that he truly, genuinely cares about the guys on that field. And what people don't understand is, whether it's Francione or Jimbo or whoever, kids can see past the BS. They know if you really care about them or not. And I truly believe that's where it starts. It starts at the head. And I believe we have a good man leading our program, taking us into the next evolution with NIL, transfer portal, profit sharing. I believe he's the right guy for sure. And, I think offensively, we got a lot of talent at quarterback. I think the one thing I always will say and I will always believe in, and I will tell this to Elko, and I have, and anybody that will trust my wisdom, because I have a PhD in football. People don't realize, like, I had NFL job offers to be a coach, but I just knew that I wanted to have a little more time with my family. So I only say that to say, if you put me in the room with anybody on the board, any offensive coordinator, any head coach or general manager, they're not going to be able to talk around me, over me, under me, because I really know that game at a high level. And the only thing I feel we need to add to our program, we have to take more shots. We have to take more shots, more double moves, more post corners, more out and ups, more play action with double move posts. Like, you look at the OU game, which I still believe in Aggie lore is not getting the credit it deserves. But the OU game from 2002 was the first time we ever beat the number one team in the nation at Kyle Field. And the reason we went out there, that was supposedly the greatest defense in the history of college football. And Reggie and Bethel and Greg Porter and myself, we were throwing the ball over the top. Derek Strait had won the Thorpe Award. They had the Buckets Award winner. They had Tommy Harris, a top 10 pick in the draft. And the reason we beat them, it was we were taking shots. And that's the only reason why. If you look at, last thing I'll say, when Alabama made that pivot after what Johnny and Mike Evans did at A&M, with the hurry-up offense, Cliff Kingsbury, it was double move routes and it was taking shots. And I think that's the only thing that's missing right now from our offense is being able to take those shots and having that number one and number two receiver that can command double coverage and take those shots down the field.
I'll never forget that game. We, the Zone, me, used to do our post-game call-in show live from the Promenade on Northgate. I have never in all my time here been a part of in the middle of something so alive, electric like that crowd, because they're chanting Reggie, Reggie. I mean, the whole mob on Northgate. This is back when you could have open containers on Northgate, so the people are outside. And I mean, I'm surrounded. Me and Dusty are trying to do that post-game call-in show, and people are just the energy after that game is unlike almost anything I've experienced, like in Aggie athletics. I mean, people were going nuts. It was so magical.
People don't realize we were down 13-0 going into about the second quarter, and we put Reggie in. And me being an East Texas quarterback, Reggie being an East Texas quarterback, when we signed him, he came and started sleeping on my couch, and
Really?
we started getting out there running routes. And there was a route that we had already been running that nobody knew, where it was like a cover two conversion, where I'm supposed to run a fade route. But instead of him throwing a ball like up in the air, he has to lace it. I'm talking like, and Reggie had that type of arm, like he was like a fastball pitcher, where in the cover two coverage, he threw like a laser, and I cut in front of the safety and caught it and went 61 yards. That's what opened the game up. That was our first touchdown. And then right before the half, as the seconds were running out, I caught two balls to extend the drive, and then he threw that bomb to Greg Porter to catch at the back of the end zone in the zone by his fingertips. That game was like, people don't understand. You had to be there to witness the energy. It to me, it still deserves more credit in Aggie lore than it's getting. And so one day I'm going to find a way to do a documentary or something around that game, because I don't think people really understand what that was. And you had to be there to experience the OU 2002 game. You had to.
That Greg Porter catch is one of the weirdest catches I've ever seen, because he caught the back of the ball, if I remember right. Like, I don't know how to explain it, how, normally a receiver catches. He actually caught the back of the ball, and it's like he plucked it out of thin air as the ball was dropping, because that was a bomb. Terrence, the 5th annual T-Camp, Terrence Murphy Camp. It is April 26th. It is 3 platforms: football, finances, and faith. And there's the 4th F, free. Free. If anyone would like to register their kid, male or female, ages 8 to 18. It's not about grades. Ages 8 to 18. Go to terrencemurphy.com. If your business would like to be involved, because sponsors are welcome, go to terrencemurphy.com. You don't have a business, but you sit there and go, this is incredible and I'd like to be involved. You can volunteer at terrencemurphy.com. April 26th, terrencemurphy.com to sign up, pre-register, volunteer, be a sponsor. Terrence, I love visiting with you. I love what you do with this camp in the Brazos Valley. Next thing you and the foundation have going on, make sure to drop me an email. Be well. Be awesome. Thank you always, brother. It's great to hear from you.
Thank you, Louie, for your friendship over many years, man. God bless you, brother. See you soon.
God bless you. Be good, brother. Be good. Terrence Murphy hanging out with us on the Louie Belina Show. It's always good to catch up.